Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Pluto square or opposition the ascendant in the natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They're a little bit concise. Some people may have referred to them as snappy, so what I decided to do is make another series on them, in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Pluto square or opposite the ascendant in a natal chart, there may be difficulty finding the passion, desire, and emotional intensity, which is Pluto, connected with matters with the physical body and appearance, which is the ascendant. Now, let's say, for example, if you have the ascendant in Libra, you may be often trying to keep an appearance that's very, attractive and, elegantly formed, often taller than average in stature. Ascendant in Sagittarius may be more of like an athletic, sporty kind of, physique or build. Gemini rising can often be long and lean and lanky in terms of their body type, and as far as the physique goes. Taurus rising can have a strong, sturdy, kind of stocky kind of build physique, as some examples. Now, also too, these aspects can indicate difficulty in terms of reinventing, which is the self, which is the outer self anyway, which is the ascendant, if necessary. If the let's say, if the ascendant is in Aries as an example, that outer self may be one that's very courageous, forceful, combative, fearless. It may be one, that's also very assertive and aggressive as well. But in terms of reinventing, this is about more, could be more connected with, just certain interests in doing certain things, like with one's life. If Aries is rising, it may be something, Aries related, whether it could be welding or carpentry or doing something with the military or speech pathology, as some examples. And the reinvention, which is Pluto, would be more, let's say, tied in to, things, it could be whether it's like new beginnings, or more, I should say, more about, doing things connected with abilities, more, in maybe some kind of, profession or through some professional field. Also, too, there may be trouble finding the drive and motivation, which is the ascendant, in terms of making a major change or transformation, which is Pluto. Now, if Pluto is in the 4th house, as an example, that major change or transformation may be in one's home or family life. Pluto in the 9th house may be a major change or transformation connected with one's religion or philosophy. Pluto in the 12th house can be one that's tied in with, like a spiritual, related transformation. Or even making a major change or transformation in somebody, that people that are in less fortunate situations, or, people that are imprisoned, if you have Pluto in the 12th house, as an example. Now, another thing, too, about Pluto square or opposite the ascendant in the natal chart, it could also indicate that, the transformation, which is Pluto, connected with the physical body, which is the ascendant, may be done with more difficulty. It may be more of an arduous task trying to, transform the physical body, whether it could be through working out vigorously or whatever, methods are used. It could be going through, just a healthier, diet or, regime. I would say if you have the ascendant, say, in like Virgo, or if, Virgo is involved, whether it's Pluto or, the ascendant in Virgo, it could really emphasize something more, really tied in, through a health regime, or through some physical fitness and exercise. Now, also, too, there may be issues in terms of balancing activities with those who are in intimate relationships and shared resources situations, which is Pluto, and those that figure prominently in your early childhood, and which is the environment, which is your the ascendant. Now, it could be that one, may conflict with the other. If you have, let's say, the ascendant, is in Gemini as an example, the people that figure prominently in your early childhood, one or more of those people may actually be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be people that are versatile, diversified, dexterous, adaptable, loquacious, articulate, shrewd, clever, multifaceted. But it could also be those who are rather, mischievous and could be really, mercurial and fickle as well. Also, too, these aspects can suggest being, either overly obsessed or fixated, which is Pluto, with new beginnings, which is the ascendant, or you just may lack, the passion and desire, which is Pluto, in those matters. Now, let's say, for example, if the ascendant is in the zodiac sign Cancer, new beginnings, maybe tied in with home, family-related things. It could be home renovation or remodeling, real estate, cooking, culinary, restaurant work. It could be doing something with interior decoration or some home or some kind of plumbing or even laundry, business, as some examples. And also, too, a grandparent and people prominent in your early childhood, which is the ascendant, may not be overly beneficial in you making some kind of, major change or transformation, or even dealing with a crisis situation, which is Pluto. Now, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily detrimental in those matters, but those people may not be overly, helpful, or they may be away in a situation where they can't be of, any great help to you if you're dealing with those situations. If you have, Pluto, say, in the 8th house as an example, there may be some crisis situation that may involve, some kind of, loan is needed, or it might be an insurance matter. It may be a death that you've experienced, some kind of trauma. Pluto in the 10th house may be more, crisis related to one's, public image or reputation, or something career related, as some examples. Now, also, too, it may be hard to outwardly express, which is the ascendant, power and control, which is Pluto, without coming across as really overly domineering or controlling. So, the thing is, if you have these aspects in your natal chart, you got to maybe be careful, because you may be somebody that, comes across as a little bit more, domineering or controlling, is otherwise indicated, because it may be hard to express, those Plutonian qualities outwardly, which can include, being, somebody that might, be emphasizing a lot of, power, or, come across as a little bit, controlling, that he or she, needs to be. And also, too, crime and corruption, which is Pluto, that you may have dealt with, may adversely affect your outlook on life and outer demeanor, which is the ascendant, to some degree. And if the thing is, let's say, if the ascendant is in Pisces as an example, the outer demeanor, Pisces rising can be rather, sensitive and emotional, but maybe it can cause even greater emotionality and sensitivity And as far as that example, if you've had certain experience dealing with crime or corruption in one's life, Taurus is rising as another example. Maybe it manifests in a person expressing more greed or avarice or being more materialistic. Even more disinclined to spend money, even if it's just helping others, because maybe, if the person had been robbed, as an example, it would be maybe more of an inclination to be, more leery about, spending, and that could be, even in terms of helping others, monetarily, as an example. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Arnott saying stay well.